What is up, everyone? I'm Skratch. Welcome to the channel. This is a Dragonheir Silent Gods video. And today we're not alone. We have Arsalan on the channel again, guys. We're gonna continue our marathon and we're gonna review all the epic champions this time around. We've done the legendary ones, so if you haven't checked out those videos, make sure you guys head over and check them out. Some of the elements are on my channel, some are on Arsalan's channel. Today we're gonna do the fire element on this channel, and we're gonna do the poison element on Arsalan's channel, so make sure you guys head over to the link in the pinned comment. What's up, Arsalan? How you doing, bro?
I'm doing great, bro. How are you?
Yeah, doing great, man. Looking forward to dive into the epics. I feel like more people can relate with the epics, you know, like it's cool to have the legendaries. They're awesome, amazing heroes, but so many amazing epics at the same time in Dragonheir, man.
They're amazing. Some of them, especially some of the new ones, I really like. I think they bring a new feature to the game. Like it allows you to experiment with different comps, and it also allows you to do more damage, especially with fire. Fire has some amazing epics.
Yeah, 100%. So we're gonna start with Horus directly, guys. This is a champion that everyone will get for free, and he is pretty solid to carry you around in early game, mid game progression, and even in the end game in some particular cases if you don't manage to pull a better tank, a more OP one, to say like this. And he has a captain aura for battles, HP. What do you think about him?
He's amazing. Grave of Venom. He's early on. He's given for free. He's probably better than Eric as a free champion because he brings a lot of utility. He has attack down. He can be used in arena too. He has CC control on his ultimate.
Yep.
So a lot going on for him, and he can keep himself alive for a very long time because his passive allows him to get some shield, and he also has like damage reduction mechanic on his ultimate. But overall, if you're missing a tank, like this is a perfect substitute.
100%. My only complaint about him, and this would make him, guys, probably insane, is if his attack penalty would be 100% chance. You know, that would change the world for him. Like he would be so reliable in content like that. Even like this, he's very strong though. 100%.
Yeah, and if you need him for like a specific content for where you want additional chance, there's a epic fire only artifact that you can get.
Yeah.
That increases the chance by 20%, I think.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, exactly. If you max that, so that could be pretty nice too, to increase his chance.
Yeah.
Moving over to Brody, Arsalan. What do you think about Brody?
Brody, I think a lot of people liked him in beta. I personally was never a huge fan of him. He does bring attack down, but it's the same 75% like Horus, and Horus is free, right?
Yeah.
And then he has a defense up, for himself as well. He's good for like goblin and things. Like if you're struggling with goblins, you don't have a lot of champions. He's like quasi support damage dealer that you can use.
Yeah.
But yeah, my opinion of him was not very high.
I used him in the beta as well. I used him on the Grave of Curse to dispel the shield, you know, because that's kind of like his speciality. And he deals more damage when he's under a shield. So I think he's there's an artifact, I forgot the name right now, the epic artifact that increases the damage while under a shield. So I used to run that on him. He was doing a decent job, but I gotta say, he wasn't that amazing at staying alive and the rest of the things. So overall, a decent champion. And I feel like now with so many other options, probably you should think twice before scrolling the hero anyway.
Yeah, definitely. There are like some amazing epics that have been added to the game.
Moving over to Dane. This is one of my most favorite epic champions. Some people, they don't tend to like him that much, and I don't really understand why. The Captain Aura is only for Series of Trials, unfortunately. I'm using this champion in Curse of Venom. I'm using him in the Grave of Curse. I'm using him in most of the domains, except the fire and the poison one. I'm not using him, of course, in the Vortex, but he's putting a lot of damage in the goblins as well. He has this passive that when the hero deals damage to enemies with less than 50% HP, recharges his ultimate energy. Then with the A2, he has a chance to land Healing Prohibition and Let Fear on the enemies, and this is an AoE attack. And then you have the ultimate skill, A2, the battle skill. I'm doing great here, guys. The ultimate skill has a chance to dispel 2 buffs from enemies within range, dealing a lot of damage. And unfortunately, it's only the smaller version of attack penalty, but already removing the buffs, or if they're under 50% HP, stealing the buffs from them, you know, makes makes him such a good hero for the Grave of Curse, you know, and even for the Tempest domain, he's very strong. You can
Yeah,
remove the continuous heal and put healing prohibition, you know.
I personally like him for Ancient Battlefield. He steals that attack up, so
Yeah.
he becomes like a damage dealer.
Mm.
He's but again, like there are so many new epics. Like with attack penalty 1 alone, like you need somebody else with attack penalty 2.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, else you won't
100%.
survive.
He's kind of like one of my main DPS champions.
Yeah, he's
When
like a quasi DPS too. Yeah,
when I started the season, I didn't have that many options, you know, and Dane really stand out in the Goblin, and I prioritized the Goblin initially. You know, I wanted to be able to farm higher stages to level up my champions faster. But since then, I've pulled a couple of awesome DPS champions, and yeah, he did lost probably 5% of his value. You know, Alfie. What do you think
yeah.
about Alfie? Interesting
Alfie
one.
is amazing. He's the Laurentiel of the wild team. So if you have like a Flora, you don't have her artifact, or if you don't have a Flora and you want to build a wild team for Vortex, he's your guy to enable everybody to do damage. The best part about him is his ultimate,
Yeah,
and the recharge time of the ultimate is just 16 seconds. He
so
plays
good.
this in the Nexus for 15 seconds, so he's pretty amazing.
Hmm.
It's always that Nexus is always going to be there, and that Nexus is going to increase your chance of wild.
100%. Unfortunately, I don't have him to try him out. I would be very curious to try him out in a wild comp. And this skill sounds pretty interesting, dealing a bit of damage in here too. But I see him more of an
He's more of a
enabler.
damage maker. He
Yeah,
doesn't deal that much damage. It's best to build him like with survivability, so he survives till the end of your run.
yeah, and keep the other ones buffed basically with ultimate. You know.
Yeah. So all the other damage dealers are going to do more damage. It's the same as Laurentiel. You can put a lot of damage on Laurentiel. He's not going to do much because their ultimate don't hit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Foley. So she's an interesting one actually. I tried her out when we were able to reset the skills. Of course, I didn't have her fully scrolled, so that kind of like brings a bit the damage down. But she's interesting in a wild comp. So she has a crit damage aura in all battles. Each successful wild check by allies increases the damage of the basic attack, okay? And the whole idea is that her battle skill will be considered a basic skill because it casts extra orbs with the basic skill. And the ultimate deals quite a bit of damage, and it can hit 3 times in a row, you know? Upon a successful wild check, the hero casts this skill again on a random enemy, and it can be cast up to 3 times. So basically, she could bring 1,260 attack damage on the enemy with the right team. This is kind of like what hooked me on it to try her out, and I'm still interested to give her a go, actually, you know?
Yeah, the problem is like in Wild Heroes, like you get a legendary for free, right? You get Eric for free.
Average, yeah.
So then there is another epic that we will review later who's much better, but it's very hard to like pull in like a lot of different Wild units and make a team out of them. Early on you can use her, but after that, like her value drops really quick just because of a free legendary that is given out.
I think so too, yeah. And the next one that you're gonna talk about as a damage dealer, once we get to her, I actually pulled her recently and she rocks. What do you think about Fira?
So Fira, I don't really rate that high because he does remove buffs on his ultimate, but his skill set, like the debuffs that he's bringing, they're like I don't particularly like them. He's good for Grave of Curse or Ancient Battlefield, and if you're building like a resist team, he can be really good with his aura and his passive. But
Yeah.
outside of that, like I don't really see him like like oh it's an amazing epic that I'm gonna be using every day. It's okay because if he brought like something like attack penalty or some heals,
Yeah.
that would be really welcoming because there are not many healers in this wild in fire.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those champions that has a speciality, and that's enabling resistance teams, you know. Not only that he has the resistance aura, but he brings the accuracy penalty on the enemies. So for me personally, I use him in the Lady of Greeneries. I feel like he was very, very nice in that team.
Yeah.
But I needed the extra resistance, you know. But other than that, how you mentioned, yeah, it's not a hero that you would use on a daily basis in content, you know.
And the best damage dealer for wild.
I just pulled her 2 nights ago, and my god, she is insane. I'm so glad that I pulled her because I wanted her from the beta. Tonelnan.
Yeah, she's amazing. Even if you are like the biggest whale of the of Dragonair and you are using a Flora comp, you are still going to be using her because her ultimate hits really hard and it pairs really well with Flora. So all the top damage dealing comps that you will see will have her. Buy if you don't have a Flora by herself, she also deals a lot of damage. Her ultimate is amazing. She gains attack up and this fire damage of 5 times. Her passive also brings another damage boost to her, right?
Crit damage, yeah.
Yeah. So it's amazing.
And she gains extra 20 crit rate. So basically, you only need to build her with 80 crit rate. And that's such a massive, massive thing in the game because you can give her crit damage gloves earlier on,
Yeah. No, she's pretty good. Like overall, like there's no other epic that is used as frequently by no matter what your spending tier is.
Exactly, like she's definitely top notch. Caraman, now I'm actually interested in trying him out as well, but I feel like he might be in the same situation. And he has a Captain Aura, increases the crit damage in the arena. The passive, the hero gains attack up and attack speed upon a successful wild check, which is pretty interesting. And then flashes behind the enemy, deals damage, ignores. Actually, no, this resets the skill, doesn't ignore the defense. I feel like the ultimate was ignoring the defense, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So the ultimate 750 attack, fire damage, and ignores 30% of the defense. So I'm curious to try him out with Erich and with Tunnelnun, but I don't necessarily think that he's a necessity in a team,
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like when you have like somebody like a free legendary and you have Tonalan and you're gonna probably use Alfie if you get him, right?
Yeah.
To increase your wild success chance because that's the major source of the damage for a wild team. So it's very hard to fit him in, but his kit does look good. He actually does very good damage on a single target, but his kit is a bit weird because it is a mix and match of both arena and PVE, right? So
Yeah.
in PVE, you want only single target damage dealer because most bosses are single, right? And his battle skill is mostly geared towards arena because this jumping ability is really helpful if you can
Yeah.
snipe the nuker of the enemy team.
Mm.
So it's like a mix and match, but yeah, I don't know what he wants to do.
I don't think he knows either. He's like kind of like, okay, should I do this or should I do that? Caraman. That's Caraman for you guys. Then we have Isolde. What do you think about her?
She's actually pretty good. She's one of the few who brings like a attack down, and that attack down is 100%, right? So
Yep.
she's one of the few which brings like fully scrolled up is going to do like 100% attack penalty too. And this is pretty good for a lot of the fire units that we saw. Like they have only 75% chance or attack penalty 1.
Yeah.
And then she's also going to provide you with a shield, so survivability is really high. So if you're looking to build a wild comp and you don't have like amazing legendaries, you can definitely use her. But if you don't have a fur bath, that is because fur bath pairs well with poisons and fire. But if you don't have him, you can use her to increase the survivability and bringing in that crucial debuff of attack down.
Yeah, 100%. I do like the fact that she has a damage reduction integrated in her passive if the team is under shield, which is granted by her. So that's pretty interesting. The aura is nice because it's in all battles, 24% defense. So that's very helpful. Adolphus. He's a fairly interesting support champion as well. And with a passive, when the hero grants a shield, it provides healing equal to 75% of the shield, if is a shield already on. And that can be decent if you are running your other heroes on shield. Now, the thing is, your Traveler doesn't pair nice with the Frost and Fire this season, so you won't be constantly buffing with shield. Then with the battle skill, heals a single ally and increases their ultimate energy. And the ultimate skill deals a bit of damage and grants Enlightenment shield to all allies. I mean, a big shield to all allies. 15% HP and 3,150% Enlightenment. So if you need a bit of help to keep your team alive, Adolphus can be pretty nice in most of the areas. But he doesn't bring any useful debuffs. He doesn't really bring anything too out of the ordinary to be like, okay, you want to run him in all your dungeons or stuff like that. I feel like he's more for the maze, and the other areas like this for the labyrinth.
I actually think very differently of him. I actually like him because of his battle skill. So if you think about it, like when you're making a vortex comp, right? You want the ultimate, so you have to find a balance between the damage and the survivability.
Yeah.
If you're using somebody like Furbath in your team, if you have a Furbath, first of all, then he's an amazing addition because you can increase the ultimate energy as quickly as possible. So that means that the downtime for the attack penalty is going to be much lower. Your wild units can go wild much or more often, and the shield does help with survivability. Not this one, the battle skill, but
Yeah.
the ultimate
The
one.
ultimate.
It definitely does help, and it does also give a somewhat of a healing thanks to his passive.
Passive, yeah.
I actually kind of like him. Yeah, I've tried like similar heroes who boost ultimate energy. Like I made an entire comp based on ultimate energy increase. So there are not many epics that do that. So I definitely feel like he's interesting at least.
That
May
sounds
not be
good,
that
yeah.
great, but yeah.
I did place him in my top 10 support epic heroes actually. So I don't think he's utterly trash or anything like that. 100%. He can do some work. I didn't thought about using him necessarily in the vortex. So that's a good point that you just brought right there, Arsalan. Liko. So she's another support hero. Captain Aura for.
She's going to be the reward, right?
Huh?
She's going to be a reward for I think one of the content. Like I think it's the Pillars of Trials. She's going to be the reward for.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but she's pretty bad.
She's pretty bad. She's definitely not in my top 10 as a support. Grants accuracy up to the hero if they don't have any buffs. Otherwise, grants them resistance. The battle skill grants the ally one ally defense up and a heal, and the ultimate skill deals attack damage and a chance to put buff prohibition and a chance to dispel a buff from the target. So that's the main problem that I have. The ultimate skill is not that amazing to justify in building the champion if you're getting her for free, So I don't know how you guys feel about it, but let me know in the comments down below as well, and whatever you think as well, Arsalan.
Yeah, I personally don't like it. Like the kit, I think they're giving us a free champion, and they just didn't want to give something good, a good free champion. This is like a very, it doesn't bring something exceptional to the kit that can be used in other areas of the game. Like we already have like a lot of different champions that we reviewed that remove buffs, right, and similar skill sets. So it's nothing unique that she's bringing to the table.
Yeah, pretty underwhelming actually. And yeah, guys, that kind of like puts our epic fire heroes on the list. This is what we think about most of them. There are some awesome ones, of course. Some of them, like Liko, for example, she's a bit more underwhelming. If you are looking into building Foley, Brody, Fira, or Garamond, just kind of like think twice if you really need them ASAP or no, because you might be getting some para heroes from the poison element, which we're gonna review right now on Arsalan's channel. So make sure you guys head over right there to continue the good vibes.
Yeah, I'll see you guys there. Thanks, Skratch, for having me.
A pleasure as always, brother. Appreciate all of you guys watching, and we'll catch you all soon in the next one.